Thank you, everybody, for coming today. Um, we try to have these calls uh, periodically to just give everyone an opportunity to get to know what TWC is and also get an idea of who our trainers are. And it's always nice to hear about training without conflict from someone else instead of just, us who obviously work here. So, we are very happy to have you guys here today. Thank you guys for attending the How to Become a Successful Dog Trainer call. I want to try to make these monthly calls. Hopefully, in the next year, that will become something that we do. But real quick, for anybody who is like newer to the community, just to give you guys an idea of who we are and what we do. Uh, in 2020, Training Without Conflict hosted the first ever Training Without Conflict certification program here live in Plant City, Florida. It was the only time that we ever did the certification program live. At that time, we recorded the entire thing, and large majority of the stuff that was recorded at that time is what comprises the certification program now. It has been expanded and updated since then, but still a large majority of the stuff that's there, stuff that we recorded at that live event. Since then, over 450 students have enrolled in the TWC certification program as professionals and or practitioners. We currently have over 120 TWC certified trainers worldwide, and we are currently enrolling for our 22nd class of the TWC certification program. At the moment, we have TWC certification students across 6 different continents. That's pretty much as much as we can do, considering there's probably not a lot of dog training going on Antarctica. So that's really a big testament to how large and how wide our community is. And we currently have TWC certified trainers in 12 different countries. And I need to actually update this because this last week we did certify a trainer in Malta. And so she's the first trainer in Malta, which is super cool.
Hmm.
So, what is training without conflict? Training without conflict is a community of dog trainers that utilize the concepts created by two-time IGP world champion Ivan Balabanov. The TWC methodology is rooted in the science of animal learning and evolutionary psychology to create unbelievable training results. TWC trainers operate with the belief that dogs are our fellow creatures and not opportunistic animals transacting for rewards. Dogs are our best friends. This is commonly stated but rarely practiced. With TWC, this is the foundation. We always want to make sure that we kind of point this out because it's a very common thing that gets said in the dog training industry and among dog trainers and among dog training schools. They say, like, dogs are our best friend and we do this, whatever. But when it comes down to it, most of the stuff that people are doing is just transacting for food rewards, and there's really not actually a ton of stuff or stock put into what the actual relationship is like. With TWC, the relationship comes first. It's absolutely the most imperative thing, and the number one thing that a TWC trainer wants to do when they bring in a new dog or a new client is to become best friends with that dog. So it's absolutely the foundation of what TWC is. We do this by utilizing play. Training without conflict prioritizes play as the most powerful motivator in training. When all basic needs are met, all animals will choose play. So that's a little bit about what TWC is, just kind of in a nutshell. Thankfully today I do have one here who, why doesn't this stop sharing? There we go. All right. Thankfully, um, I do have someone here today that can assist in kind of expanding to you guys what TWC is, how it's kind of allowed them to enhance their abilities and other things as a trainer. And I'm sure you guys are super curious to hear about that. Um, you to Jen Humphrey. Every time I see her name, like no matter what, it's always going to be Jen Banks.
The wrong person.
Yeah, so just to kind of give you an idea, I've known Jen for a very long time, and when I first met her, she was Jen Banks, so it's always like funny to see that she's Jen Humphrey, but she is Jen Humphrey and has been for a while. And thank you for being on the call today.
Yeah.
Before we kind of get into anything TWC related, can you just kind of give us a rundown on like who you are as a trainer, how you got started, and how you kind of caught the dog training bug?
Yeah, sure. I this might actually be my first professional interview with the Humphrey name and not the Banks name because it it took a while for me to change it over professionally. Yeah, so I started training dogs. I started getting paid to train dogs in 2008. I started at a service dog organization, but I had done an unpaid apprenticeship with them, and a lot of volunteer time with them in the training realm before that. So 2008 is like my official, okay, I'm a dog trainer for whatever, however you're going to define that. And I was there training service dogs. They had like a prison-based program. So it was a lot of like teaching group classes in prisons and teaching classes to volunteers on weekends and then kind of fine-tuning anything they couldn't do themselves, matching the dog with the client and then training the client how to use the dog. And then I got my Shiba, who's 12 now. So I was at needs when I got him, and he had a lot of issues. And I was there for like a year and starting to realize there was a lot I had to learn. So I kind of branched out into the pet dog world. And I actually worked at a bunch of different places from like super old school, mold the dog into position and make them do it to like all force-free, positive, and then like everywhere in between. But I started my own business. I'm working at all these different places. And that was 2014 that I started working in the pet dog world. And now here I am. I have a dog training school in Princeton, Massachusetts. We do mainly group classes. We do a lot of group class training, which I think is different from a lot of the other TWC trainers. We do not do board and trains, which I'm happy to talk about the pros and cons of that, but we do a lot of group classes. So a lot of what I've done with TWC is take those concepts and improve my group classes. And then we also do private lessons and we do all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, that's what I do.
Very, very cool. Um, I would definitely want to get into kind of like how TWC has kind of helped you and the things that you learned along the way. But something you just kind of mentioned that I feel like we don't ever talk about. Um, Whenever you kind of do a school or people are like you're this type of trainer, everyone
Mhm.
seems to have this idea that like, oh, if you do this type of thing, you have to do it their way.
Yeah.
And you just kind of said like it's actually very Ivan is very he's not like adamantly opposed, but he's not one to subscribe to doing group classes.
Mhm.
So you actually just kind of mentioned that it's actually a large portion of your business. So can you kind of talk about number one, um, the freedom that the TWC concepts allow you to have to be able to branch out like that, that it's not necessarily what TWC would do, but how you've actually been able to use it to your advantage with your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot of things I already had in place before I took TWC, which is I did TWC in 2002, I think. And then my two other trainers have done it as well. And I'm a psychology major also, so I forgot to mention I've got a bachelor's in psychology. So like a lot of the concepts that are explained in TWC, they weren't new to me, but I was never properly taught how to take those concepts and apply them correctly. Certain concepts, like certain things, how to apply them correctly to dogs. So the group class stuff, I did not do a lot of play in group class beforehand, and we include play a ton in classes now, but probably not the way that most people are thinking. I'm not like asking the dog to sit and then rewarding with play or anything like that. I mean, not that I'm not, but that's not everything we're doing. But realizing that I needed to set a better tone in my group classes in general for my clients and my dogs, and using play to kind of bridge those gaps where like no one's in the right place to be learning effectively, whether it's because um, I have a brand new group of dogs and people and they don't know each other and they're nervous, and we can kind of use play to just change the mood in the room, or I've got a group of young dogs and it's been icy and snowy for a week, so no one's gotten exercise, and now we're all crammed in a room together, and I can't just like drill obedience with these dogs. I need to do something more to kind of bring them to that ideal mental state for learning. So a lot of that, and then um the other concepts in the course where they're just like little things that I thought I was doing so correctly that it's I don't know how much you want me to say. That's why I'm being careful. I don't know how much detail you want me to go into, but it was really like I had this long history of working with dogs and thinking I understood certain things, and I mostly did, but the two or three things that I was doing incorrectly made a huge difference. Made a huge difference in how quickly I could get results, how good the dogs and people felt about it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be not like necessarily. I don't think we have even enough time to really like dive deep and like blow anyone's mind with
Yeah, sure,
anything.
sure.
So
Yeah.
like, if you want to mention any type of concept, it's totally
Okay,
fine.
cool.
You
Yeah.
don't feel like constrained by anything. I think I just more so was just like very interested in like the fact that like because Ivan is like not so much a proponent of group
Yeah.
classes, I think it's very cool that you have been able to use the concepts when like so many people are like, if you do this type of thing, you have to do it their way, when you actually have had the freedom to use all the concepts in your way, which I think
Absolutely.
is one of the key things of TWC is that it doesn't constrain you into a box of doing it. Like
Nope.
you don't have to do, click in 2 point whatever seconds or
And I think
like,
I think that kind of hits on the big difference, because I looked at other programs and I've gone through other programs, and that's probably the biggest piece I was missing, is that like critical thinking piece where like TWC forces you to think critically and find your own answers and take very broad concepts and make them work for what you're doing, versus past programs I've done, past classes I've taken, it's very much this is step one, this is step two, this is step three. You follow the steps or else. And I used to have that approach with clients, and it sucked. It sucked because I'd lose their trust immediately, because I'd be like, no, we need to follow the correct method or the correct steps involved in getting to where you want to go. And I don't care what your dog already knows, because they don't know it the way they have been taught, the way I know it should be taught. And just kind of like letting go of that and not caring so much about how a dog had already learned the things they learned before they came to me, and just accepting like, okay, this dog has certain skills and I don't need to work from square one. I can just build on what's already there. That has been huge. That's been huge as far as time it takes to make progress with a dog.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think that like when you subscribe to like one of those types of programs where it's like this is step one, this is step two, this is step three, if anything shakes up step one, step two, or step three, and you can't get to step four, you are like totally like, uh-oh. And
Yeah,
then you're like paralyzed as a
yeah,
trainer because it's like I need to go get answers.
yeah.
And then I mean I'm talking very generally, not talking about anyone specifically.
Mhm.
But when that happens and there's no answer besides going to step four,
Yeah.
it goes back to the trainers being like, well, it's the dog's fault or it's the
Mhm.
client's fault.
Yeah.
And I think that that's Ivan is like a very big like martial arts analogy person, and one of the things he says is like the Mike Tyson quote of like everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Mhm.
And I think that like when you get punched in the face in dog training, whether that's, a small little hiccup or like, you get a dog that all of a sudden decides to be aggressive or whatever, um, I think TWC gives you the freedom of being like, okay, let me take a step back and just like use the tools that I know and be able to shape it into what I need to do. And
Absolutely.
you never I feel like you never feel like you're at a loss for answers because you're more so taught to think critically. And also I think that like Ivan is very much so a proponent. It's a big piece of TWC of trial and error learning. And it's not just about the dog, it's
Mhm.
also about your training. Like it almost gives you the freedom of like, hey, if you mess up, like if step three doesn't become step four, it's okay. We just try something else.
Yeah.
So can you just talk about a little bit about that and like the freedom that you've kind of felt being
Yeah.
able to do that?
Yeah, I mean it is seen the best in my group classes because I have, my group classes have a curriculum, they have a structure, they have end goals that we're all working towards. And I have three different trainers here, so it's important that we're all working towards the same goals. But even within a class, I'll have four different students doing the same, like working towards the same goal four different ways. I might have a student that is completely relying on negative reinforcement to teach behavior, which is great. And a student right next to them is doing all food luring because that's just what's best for that team. It's not my favorite, but and it's at the point where I'm like, I can't just force you to do what I think is best because I need the team on the same page. So yeah, you'll see my group classes all working towards the same goals for different ways if needed. Sometimes I have a group of people where it's like, oh yeah, we're all on the same page, we're all doing it the same, we are rewarding with play because it's appropriate for these dogs, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of why I love teaching group classes because it's different every time. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun. You're muted. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think also like one of the things that like when so a couple of years ago we all Ivan and the whole team and everybody came up and did a workshop near you that you helped put on, and we kind of had the opportunity to kind of like you and I have a conversation. And at that time, it was like when you took TWC, it almost kind of gave you the permission to like not feel like you needed to do things a certain way and
Yeah.
churn out step one, step two, step three. And it gave you like the freedom and the almost the permission to like have fun training dogs again.
Mhm.
So can you just expand a little bit on kind of how you felt after like kind of how you were feeling prior to the course about dog training and then how TWC kind of affected that feeling as you moved on.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling frustrated before taking TWC. I don't know if there's anything specific I can speak on. But just having a community where the community is all about um doing what is in the best interest of the dog and the human, as opposed to like previous communities I'd been in where it was very much like this is the way. I don't think there is any other program that would encourage students to deviate from what the mass of the culture thinks is the correct path. Like if anything, I feel like that's what this community is constantly looking for. Well, is there another way? Is there a different way? Is there a quicker way? Is there a better way? Is there a more humane way? um and it's very motivating in a way that some of the stuff I was doing before, it just really made me look at dogs like kind of like an input output machine, right? Like that I'm doing this and the science says it should work and it's not working, so I'm going to do it 500 more times. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like maybe then it'll work, right?
right.
Um and then really just like I like to think I always view dogs as emotional, intelligent individuals, but I don't feel like I really understood that and like embraced it until I did TWC. And I also I'm part of my struggles and like my own very specific journey from like where I started to where I am now is starting in the service dog world. It really was encouraged to have like robotic like dogs. And then I got into that a bit with my pet dog clients because that's all I knew, right? And I was definitely getting away from it on my own. And then I took TWC and it just made something that probably would have taken me another decade. It just helped me do it in like 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, and I think one of the very interesting things that I've kind of just observed because like I think one of the very like weird but also interesting parts of my job is that like or me as a person, I guess, is that like I have this job where like I'm here to help people through the certification process and also like, tell people about certification and get them involved in certification and TWC and all these things. But at the same time, like before that, I was like a dog trainer who wanted, number one, wanted to train my personal dogs and had a dog training business myself.
Yep.
So I have like a very interesting perspective, I think, when it comes to kind of what TWC is, what the course is, and how it affects me and how it affects other people and all that stuff. And I think one of the very interesting things about the course and TWC is like you do learn all these concepts that Ivan's teaching you, but it's almost like there's like a chess analogy where like you have to understand the rules before you can break the rules. And there's going to be so many times where it's like Ivan said to do this, but don't do that. And it's it's almost like and Ivan would be the first one to tell you like I know I said to do this, but it's not going to work with this dog, so we have to do it this way.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's very cool, I think, when you have that, when you never feel like you're backed into a corner.
Mm,
And one of the upsides is even if you were to get to that point where you're just like, I'm just lost on what to do,
yeah.
we then have the community of TWC trainers or the monthly calls that we have with certified trainers
And you also
where
understand that failure is actually a super important part of it all.
right,
Like
right.
in a way that I avoided it, like so desperately avoided failure before taking the course. When failure is happening, it's like, yep, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen and it's not a big deal whether it's the client is failing or the dog is failing or I'm failing in the way that I'm trying to go about something. It's just a signal that, like you said, we need to find a different way. And it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that we failed and didn't get the thing we wanted because we're going to try a different way and we're going to get it. And that failure is not like going to be cemented in the dog's brain forever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
And
just I
and
couldn't
I
get up to
mean,
down once or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. And it's almost like failure in a sense is a big deal, but not for the reason that people think. It's a
Exactly.
big
It's
deal
very
because
important.
it gives you an opportunity to learn more or
Exactly.
to learn a different way. And it gives you an opportunity to understand that like because I mean at a core level, without the failure, you wouldn't know that you're heading in the wrong direction because it's like, you need to know at some point that like, oh, this isn't going to work, it's and it comes with everything in life. It's
Yeah.
it's if
At this
you're
point, I'm more like when things all go as planned, I'm like, oh, cool.
yeah. And if
Yeah.
anything, if
Yeah, it's how it's
anything,
gone 100 times, right?
exactly. But if anything, it's almost like you actually are like mentally like permitted to
Yeah.
have ideas that you're like this could totally fail
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, this isn't working. This dog's about to teach me something,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
just
100%.
yeah, which
Yeah,
is
and just kind of what I was saying is like even if you ever get to the point where you feel like you're backed into a corner, and you're lost for ideas, we have these like monthly calls and these Zoom calls with that are ongoing where you are able to ask and get feedback from everyone else,
And not
including
just
them.
get feedback, but get feedback from people who have the same understanding as you do and the same educational background as you do and the same broader goals, right? Like the people in this community, I feel confident in saying that they want the same thing for dogs that I do. And that is not true of all the other random. I'm afraid of all the other. I'm afraid of social media in general, but I'm especially afraid of the dog trainer groups. And I reminded myself how scary they are the other day when I didn't even ask for advice. Um, and I don't have a fear of posting in the TWC group and getting bad advice. Because even if someone is off track, it's closely monitored and we're going to bring it back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Uh,
'cause, and then that's like a very interesting thing is like and not that any person specifically is like some overlord of like of what TWC is, but it's like it's actually it's very constructive where it's like if you put like say just hypothetically someone makes a post, they post a video and say, "Hey, I'm stuck with this client," and then one person is like, "Hey, this is like this is what I think you should do," and it just doesn't align with let's say what just general good dog training practices would be, or what Ivan would generally give advice to do. It's not so much that like there's someone there who's like absolutely not, don't do this, but it's more
yeah,
so like, hey, before we go down too deep on this rabbit hole, let's hold off and then we'll talk about it as a group on the next call.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I feel like it's very constructive anytime. And I do think that that's cool that like no one is afraid to get advice or to make themselves vulnerable and say, guys, I'm lost,
Mhm.
you know, and in a better sense, like you said, very different from like the average Facebook group where like if you
You
say
have
I'm
no
lost,
idea who's
yeah,
responding.
you have no
Yeah, it's
clue.
just
And
like someone who hired a dog trainer, did 3 lessons, and then decided they wanted to be a
yeah,
dog trainer,
and now they're,
and now they're in the
Facebook
group
sees
giving
them on.
advice.
Yeah, like
And tell you, some people are very convincing with their
oh, I mean,
words.
it's I used to have a thing where it's like, especially when I was still training dogs, it's like anybody who could speak with conviction was an expert.
Yeah,
Like if you just say what you want to say with like confidence, people will just assume that you're correct
yeah.
because and like it's scary. It's scary. Like you can give the worst advice, and if it's delivered with conviction to somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about,
Mhm.
it can seem like fact, and it's
Yeah,
terrifying.
yeah, it is. It is terrifying.
Um, so just kind of branching off of talking about the community, one of the very, very cool things about you and your business is that not only did you become a certified trainer, you've actually encouraged several of you actually have the most certified trainers in one building.
Mm.
Um, that in anybody in the TWC community. So you've actually encouraged your employees to get certified as well. So can you just kind of talk about the value of having multiple certified trainers kind of under one roof?
Yeah, so I was a solo trainer for a long time. So I left the service dog place. I had like an in-home based business for a long time. And I did board and trains back then. And then when I bought my new place, I have a training room, all these group classes, and the reality is if I wanted to like offer as much as I wanted to offer, I needed more people than just myself working here. So I've been very fortunate with the two trainers that I have, Mallory and Jill. Mallory, I've known what feels like my whole life, and Jill was actually a client that came to me in 2021. Jill actually came to me before I did TWC, believe it or not. Um, and so they're working for me. I do TWC, and of course I'm talking to them about it, and kind of like realizing that I can't have them continue working for me if they don't do I'm like, I can't teach the course to you, right? Like I'm not gonna do it justice. I also wouldn't put that much pressure on myself. Um, but I can't have you working here if you don't understand the things that I now understand. So Jill actually did an apprenticeship with me. I think she was actively doing it. She was like wrapping up when I started the TWC course, and then she did it last, I think, out of all of us. But I will say, so Mallory and I have been in dogs for a long time, and Jill's been in dogs since 2021 when she came to me with a very problem cattle dog. Um, I wanted Jill to have hands-on experience before doing the course. I felt like people doing the course when they've like rolled out of bed and decided to be a dog trainer and have no hands-on experience. Um, I was worried about sending her into the course without some sort of like day-to-day in-person experience. So she I think was teaching here with me for like a year or so before she did the course. And I'm honestly jealous of her that she got that sort of start in dogs, is that like she so early on in her career got to do the course because I just uh I can't believe how quickly it's helped me progress and get results with clients and kind of move on to bigger and better things. But yeah, so we can all share clients, right? So I can have a client do privates with me and then group classes with one and then privates with the other. And we're not doing things the same. I actually think we train somewhat different, but all of the concepts are being applied the same, and we all have the same end goal in mind, which is a little bit of like really writing down what we want to see from dogs and then understanding everything from the TWC course. I don't know. I had Mallory do the course because I needed someone else to talk to about it that was actively going through it that I knew. Um,
I
and I was
think
like, I just need you to do this with me.
I think also though, like there's a certain level of trust that gets built with your staff when not only are you like, our like SOPs or whatever under this building, but you, like at a core like ideology level, you
Yeah,
believe the same belief
believe the
that
same
we
thing.
have. And it's like even like I can trust that you're going to make the best decision, not because I trained you to do it, but because we believe at a core level that
Yep.
we're after the same thing, which is a very different, it's almost like it's at a culture level instead of at a like I just understand that like the rule book says I do it this way.
Yeah. And I also from a business perspective, it's always been very important to me to ultimately be certified and have staff that's certified. I just until I found TWC, I didn't find any program that I wanted to give my money to.
Yeah, fair, fair. So yeah, like other things that you're kind of involved in, I think, and I think it's always cool, I think, with TWC people. It's not everybody necessarily, but a large majority of TWC people are not just like, I'm just trying to have my successful business and then just keep it moving. Like you're so passionate about dogs that you also continue to work with your own personal dogs,
So yeah.
and you've had a significant level of success with your dogs. So can you just kind of talk a little bit about your competition experience and stuff with your dogs?
Yeah, yeah. So I've got three dogs. My oldest is the Shiba. He's 12. He's actually the first dog I dabbled in sports with, which sounds insane now. He was not a great pick for sport dog. But he did some rally. I did a lot of prepping him for obedience, like AKC obedience. I never competed in obedience with him, but he got all his rally titles and he did some agility and he humbled me every 30 minutes like for pretty much his entire life. And now he's 12 and he's kind of going deaf, and he's my demo dog. Honestly, he's the best demo dog I could ever ask for. He's great for working around clients. And then I have two Staffordshire Bull Terriers that are Moon Pie just turned 9, which makes me a little sad. She's still in her prime though. And then I have her daughter who's Rue, and Rue is 6. And I've done AKC obedience and rally with both of them. Right now, so I just wrapped up some rally titles with Rue this past year, and I'm taking a little break from competing, but we did go to AKC Rally Nationals 2 years ago and took first place in our class. We were in the advanced class that year, which was crazy to me because I'd never been to a national, and it was like 100 dogs in my class, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
insanity. Also, like just the environment. It was like 8 rings running at once,
yeah.
and then crate space all around the rings. It was wild. She's just a super, they're both very cool dogs. And I love doing obedience with them. And we've qualified for the championship level for nationals next year. So I'm considering, I booked a hotel room. I don't know if I'm going or not, but I've got a hotel room. Uh, Kind of taking the winter to focus more on obedience stuff because I'm looking to put Moon Pie in utility, which I've never done before. She's my first like real obedience dog. So we're doing a bunch of utility training, and then Rue would go into open obedience. Um so I have like a obedience boot camp that I'm gonna bring them to the first of the year, and hopefully we'll be trialing them come spring.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's just always cool when people are just like they just again, it just goes back to the same. It's like there's go and there's nothing wrong with it. The people who are like, I just have my dog training business and I just want to train my clients and I
Yeah,
just do whatever. It's
spring's great.
totally fine, total, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I do think that there's a certain amount of like I don't know, I don't even know the right word for it, but I just think it's very cool when like someone is like, not only am I passionate about like helping other people, but like I'm still continuing to work with my dogs. And even like it almost kind of maybe keeps you uh like keeps the humility or the purity of the desire of dog training when you're just like at a core level, I started this because I wanted to train my dogs.
Yeah,
And like for me, I became a dog trainer because I was like, how do I hang out with my dog more?
yeah.
Like I got annoyed that I had to go to work.
I'm
Like I
at
was
the point, I love dogs so much that if I had to like go back to a 9 to 5, I don't know that I could justify having dogs if I had to be out of my house for
right. No, I
like I
think
don't know if
about
I could
that.
do that
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
dogs.
no, I think about that all the time. Like I just don't
Yeah.
like people who are like, yeah, just leave my dog for 8 hours. Like I don't even like I don't even like I'm sometimes I'm like I'm not gonna go to the grocery store because I don't want to leave my dog. It's
And
like,
you know, that I recently in the past year or two had a realization because I get I get pet dog clients all the time who's like, yeah, my dog in the middle of the night having accidents, destructive, etc. It's like a young 8-month-old dog, and it's like, yeah, you need to crate them at night, not appreciating that that dog is crated for 8 hours during the day.
right,
People are
right.
home for 2 or 3 hours and then crated again at night.
Yeah.
And that's like that human emotion, that like guilt piece that people feel over that, and really having to be more creative with solutions, right?
Yeah,
Instead of just like,
100%.
yeah, create your dog.
Yeah, 100%. Totally.
Uh,
But yeah, I just think it's very cool that you continue to stay passionate about that stuff. And can you just talk about like how just using the TWC, knowledge and stuff has just like really assisted you in having success in that world?
yeah, yeah. So I'm fortunate. Rue was pretty young when I started TWC. I'm trying to think back. I brought her home in 2020. You don't know what year I did TWC, do you?
I think you did it in 2022.
Okay, yeah. So she was pretty young, and I hadn't taught, like, outside of position changes, I hadn't taught really anything formal to her. So I actually used her to teach my heel for my practical
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
That makes more sense because I was like, she was pretty young because she was like, yeah, she was pretty young when I did that. So it was cool to have a young dog to really kind of drill into some of these things with. And I played with my other dogs. Like my Shiba play, well, he I don't play with him much anymore because I don't have time. And he's happy to be in my yard. But like my other Stafford plays a lot and she loves to play, but I never really built skills with play. Like I thought I was, but I wasn't. So it was fun with Rue to really really build a lot with toys and just be able to experiment a bit with it. And I'm actually I'm going full circle. I've been doing a lot more food-based training with her for some of the things I have to do for obedience. It makes more sense to use food. And I'm realizing how like inexperienced she is with food training. Because I just didn't do it a lot. So there's certain skills that I'm like, oh yeah, you're a 6-year-old dog, you'll know this. And it's like, oh, I didn't use a ton of food with you early on and forgot to build this skill. But she's like, it's not hard. It's just interesting. Um, but yeah, it's been I don't know. It's so hard to tell because I have the two dogs that are genetically related, right? Like I have a mother daughter, both trained very different, right? Like I was in a totally different system with Moon Pie, and definitely have some fallout from that. There's definitely some like there's a sharpness to some things with her that I do wonder. I wonder if it's just her or if it's the way I used pressure when I was training her because I used a lot of pressure without really needing to with her. And with Rue, like she responds fine to pressure, and I've used, whatever aversives needed and whatever pressure needed to teach her things. But Rue just is a lot more, she just seems so much more clear-headed. And I always wonder, I'm like, is that personality? Is that, training experiences that we've had? It's probably a combination of both, but it's just something I feel like I'm in a unique position because I have these dogs that are just so closely genetically related that we're just trained so different and are so different in how they work. They're so different in how they work.
Yeah, I actually have a very similar situation where it's
Yeah.
like I kind of went down the road of like learning like multiple different things and then also went down that like path very briefly of like of using, pressure to create behaviors.
Mhm.
And I have, especially my Malinois Mookie is like an extremely compliant, like he wants to do the right thing every time.
Yeah.
And when you shoehorn yourself into being like, no, but I learned that I have to use pressure to get all the behaviors on a super compliant dog, you get this dog that's just like you almost create like a neurosis where it's just like I'm already trying to do the right thing and like it's a it's like if you have a straight A student and you like pressure them into like getting good grades
Yeah,
like
that's exactly it. Like
it's like dude like
Moon Pie is a wonderful obedience dog.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
I didn't need all that. And
yeah,
thankfully like I was able to identify that early on, but there's still here and there you'll see little twinges of like, ugh, I
yeah,
totally messed that up back then. Like
yeah, yeah. It's there for sure. And some of Moon Pie is also just like she's totally like a single track mind dog, which makes her just very different from working with Rue. But yeah, she's a dog. She's absolutely a dog that she just wants to do it and she wants to do it well and she's got the ability and she's got the motivation. And then I added all this pressure on top of it. And I definitely feel like it's created a lot of conflict between me and her that I've had to resolve. Um, but here we are at 9 years old, preparing for utility and feeling like really good about it, like having a lot of fun doing it and just really I think I've worked through some of the like bigger issues that I had to with how I used to train her. Um, and it's a nice place to be when you have two dogs that are into what you're doing, right?
Yeah, and I mean, even just because this is kind of also a piece of stuff that we do talk about in TWC, you kind of mentioned that they're so closely related genetically. I think that there's like a very cool aspect of like when you understand like who the parents are, you have a very different outlook on how you're going to approach something. Like I've been, lucky enough to have a very like good understanding of who Mookie's parents are and like meet the dad, meet the mom, and know who they like. The mom lived in my house for 3 months before. She actually lives at my stepmom's house and like is just retired
Yeah,
female
yeah.
there. Like, so like I have a very, very good understanding of who the mother is. I have a very good understanding of who the father is. So like when I look at him, I'm not only able to know who he is, but also be like, oh, this is like coming from a certain place and like whatever. So it gives you a very cool I think learning and it's not like TWC is like this like all like genie level understanding of genetics, but it at least like forces you to consider the genetics, where I feel like a lot of other types of schools don't. They're just like, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and whether the genetics are pointing you in that direction or not, this is how we do it. So and I think that that's one very, very cool thing that TWC is just like that the genetics are very much a thing to be considered, especially when you have access to them.
Yeah.
Um, so other things that you kind of have as you've kind of progressed through your journey as a TWC and TWC certified trainer, you've been able to attend events, but you also put on events when you hosted us in New England. So,
Yeah.
can you just kind of talk about a little bit about like what your experience has been like attending and hosting TWC events and just kind of the atmosphere and the positives of being in that sphere.
Yeah, well, so when Ivan came up to Massachusetts, I was like 4 or 5 months pregnant. So I don't actually remember.
I think you were further along. I feel like
I think
four.
it was further along. And I had a working spot and I had a 2-year-old at home. So it was rough time personally for me. But I do think about that workshop often because he worked so many dogs and it
Yeah,
was just so cool to just watch him work dogs. And like I did you record any of that? Because you should just
it's all
because I would love to
like
I would
like
love to
like
watch it.
this
It
is
was
like
very cool to watch.
very secret information, but it was all recorded and it's all like in the process of getting edited, and we'll release it eventually. Like how we
Cool.
did like the Make Your Dog Somebody California.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It'll eventually get released. It was just we are just kind of going through wanting to release all the New England, North Carolina, and the London one or Birmingham one that we did in
Yeah,
New England.
that was a really cool because I've been to quite a few workshops, right? And I've hosted and traveled and blah blah blah. Um, it was cool to watch Ivan work with a wide range of dogs, including like behavior cases, um, and not feel pressured to make progress for the with the dog just for the sake of
The workshop.
audience, but also not use that as an excuse to do nothing with the dog, which I've seen other presenters do. Um, and just like really just go at the pace he knew was appropriate for the dog. It was a really nice reminder to be like to this day, find myself having to tell clients, I know you want to do X, but like, look, you don't even have this yet. We need to kind of be more realistic about our goals so that we can get you where you want to go. But yeah, just watching Ivan work dogs was also a really good group. It was just like it was a fun group of people. It was really interesting to talk to people. It was a really nice mix of professionals and enthusiasts and pet dog owners. And I got a really I had a really nice time that weekend. But also I was
I think, and just kind of just branching off of what you were saying, I think when you see Ivan at a workshop and there is a dog who is not necessarily going to go from like terrified dog to, you know, happy-go-lucky, like
yeah.
loves everyone dog in a weekend, nor does he want that. I think one very cool thing that he kind of not necessarily directly, but um indirectly teaches trainers is that like you should appreciate incremental change.
Mm. And
Like
he
appreciate the small
absolutely
effort. Like, and I think it almost like makes me like emotional to think about it, but it's like appreciating how hard dogs are trying.
how hard
Like,
dogs are trying and trying to really get people to align their goals around how the dog is feeling.
yeah, yeah, and like
But
it's
you don't see
yeah.
that. And I will say too, having had done the course, I did not feel like the workshop was the course all over again. And I was grateful. I loved the course. It's very heavy. It made me feel a little bit like I was back in college, right? Because it's a very heavy course. And it was nice to have a workshop that was just, okay, I have all this knowledge and I'm just going to watch and I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing everything.
Well, I think one of the very cool things when you have gone through the course
Yeah,
and then you get the experience of seeing it in a workshop format like that, you are almost watching a totally different workshop than somebody.
absolutely.
Like you are like he's giving away everything and they don't even know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like very, very cool.
And I don't want a workshop where they're going to talk about learning theory.
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah. Like I
like,
mean, everyone just wants to see dogs get trained. Like
yeah, yeah,
if you sign up for something where you're like under in the understanding that you're going to get that theory and then cool. But
sure.
for the most part, when you're attending a workshop, people want to see the dogs get
Yep,
trained.
awesome dogs. And he I feel like he packed a lot into that 3 days. There was a lot. There was a lot he did with dogs in three
Yeah,
days.
and I think just as kind of a testament, not only to that workshop or any other workshop, but the course or just pretty much anything that Ivan does, like he really does give like 110%. It's not like he definitely I'm like that's one thing that like I just have never ever seen or like I've never been to any and I've been to pretty much everything since 2019
Yeah.
where like I'm like oh like Ivan's phoning it in like he's 100% on every single
Yeah.
dog and not only like just right then like he'll randomly just be sitting around and just like be like, oh, remember that like that dog Ronnie from the workshop.
Yeah. I see her. I
Ivan,
just saw her.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
see her all the time.
Ivan talks about that dog like probably 3 or 4 times a year
Yeah,
to this day. Like,
that was huge for her. That was huge for her. I see her. She's in my obedience club. I see her all the time.
yeah. So like it's just very I think that's just one of the other very cool things. Just kind of going back to like working with somebody who's truly passionate about dogs like
Yeah.
Ivan thinks about the like so many times where it's just like he'll just be like man I was dreaming about this dog and like trying to come up with a solution
I
he's just
should get
always
video of Ronnie for him.
you should
See
you
him.
totally
I
should
think I have video from club on Monday.
yeah 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 no
I keep thinking about that there was a really scared Aussie there. I think
yeah
it's an Aussie or some sort of herding dog. And I think about that dog a lot. And
yeah
and
yeah
just like his because the dog was just scared, right?
yeah
And that was just interesting to watch him work with that dog and the client.
yeah 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 100%.
So,
Um, well, just I don't want to keep you like too much longer,
yeah, sure.
but just to kind of, I feel like most people who are coming to these calls are already very interested in TWC, but just you've like done the course, you obviously appreciate it. You obviously appreciate it to the level where you've encouraged your employees to do it. And I know for a fact that you get trainers who contact you asking, should I do the course or do you think it's good? Like, can you just kind of talk to me about like what your conversations are like when somebody approaches you asking if they should do the course?
Yeah, it depends on their background, right? So because I have my own trainer program, right? Like full disclosure, I have like an in-person trainer program. And I want to say like half the trainers who have done my program have also done TWC. Um, and I think the important thing with TWC is that you have a plan for hands-on experience if you haven't had it already. Like if I've got a trainer who's been training for a few years, they've had their hands on dogs, then yeah, no brainer do TWC. But if you are a dog enthusiast who wants to start a dog business and you're going to start with TWC, you should also have hands-on opportunities in place because once you're reading about this stuff, learning about this stuff, watching videos, you need to have somewhere to go practice, to go
Access to
implement.
dogs. Yeah.
Absolutely. Having I don't care where it is, but having access to dogs for sure. So that's more or less the conversation I have with people is like if I have someone who's got some experience under their belt and they're considering it, just do it. Just do it, right? Like just stop considering it and just do it. For sure, which I think is more or less what you told me when I was considering it.
Yeah,
When
I
you
mean,
were like,
like,
I'll, I'll never forget. You were like, yeah, you should just do it so that you don't keep doing things wrong. And I'm like, fuck you, Eric. And then you
yeah,
were right, and I was like a little pissed about it, but
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very good very good judge of like personalities
yeah.
when I'm talking to people about the course. So if I know that I could just like brute force someone into
Yeah.
to
And
doing
you
it,
know
then I'll
what?
do it.
If I had access to this course when I first started, when I was like newly in the pet dog world, this would have just been like a blessing for young trainer Jen for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think at just at any point in your career where you learn this stuff, it's going to change. It's going to change
Absolutely.
everything. It's going to completely, um, really just absolutely flip everything you thought you knew on its head and
Absolutely.
really put you in a much better situation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of explain a little bit more about the course to everyone. You're
Yeah.
welcome to stay on if you have other things that you need to attend to. I appreciate your time today, but if you want to stay on and maybe answer some questions if people have them, you're also welcome to do that. So.
Yeah, I can stay on
Um,
for a few minutes. My 2-year-old will be waking up soon and it's gonna get loud, but my husband's home. Yeah, there are some questions in the chat.
Okay, cool. Let me just run through some of this stuff and then we will get to Q&As. If you guys do have any questions, feel free. There is a box at the bottom of the Zoom window that says Q&A. You can go ahead and type your question into that box and we will go ahead and answer that once I get done with this piece of the presentation. So just give me a second and let me pull it up. All right. So, what you guys are going to learn today. Why now is the perfect time to enroll in the TWC certification program? What makes training without conflict superior to other programs? What you will learn in the TWC certification program, the differences between practitioner and professional programs, the benefits of being in the Training Without Conflict community, and how to enroll in the Training Without Conflict certification program. So, why TWC certification? Dog training is a highly competitive industry. In the US, Americans spend over 50 billion a year on their pets. 33% of the world's population has a dog as a pet. 44% of American households have a dog, and 1.6 million dogs are adopted each year in the United States. I'm sure that number is even larger throughout the world. But because of all these things, this industry has proven to be recession proof because there are always people in need of assistance with their dogs. It really has turned the industry into a recession-proof um, one. Because it is a highly competitive industry, sharks tend to circle around money. And when people see that, they decide to kind of just hone in and say, okay, here's easy pickings of some money for me to make. And then you get a dichotomy of a red ocean and a blue ocean industry. A red ocean industry is essentially, you guys can kind of see on the graphic, a industry where there are a lot of people who are doing the exact same thing and they're all fighting for the exact same client. And it tends to just muddy up the waters, and there's very few clients left for new trainers or inexperienced trainers. What you want to do is you want to stand out in your industry. You want to create a blue ocean industry where you are one of a kind, where you can offer something that other trainers cannot. And when you can do that, you can see that people will literally flock to you because they know that you are the person who offers what everyone else cannot. People around the world are seeking expert help. Training without conflict is the cheat code to becoming an expert. How do you achieve that? First of all, Ivan, he has unparalleled knowledge. There is no one else like him in the dog training education industry. He's a two-time IGP world champion. He's a 15-time IGP national champion. I need to change this because he just won another one. He's 16-time IGP national champion. 40 plus years of training dogs. That also may need to change soon. I think he's getting real close to hitting that 50 plus years very, very soon. So that's coming up. He has over 40 years of breeding Belgian Malinois with Otvitosha Malinois. He's a former guide dog trainer at the Guide Dogs for the Blind in San Rafael, California, and he's a former training director at the San Francisco ASPCA, which was the first no kill shelter in the United States at that time. Training without conflict is not another tool in your toolbox. That's super, super common. You hear people say it all the time at workshops. I'm just here to get more tools for my toolbox. TWC is very much not that. Training without conflict is the only dog training methodology founded on the proven principles of behavioral psychology. Training without conflict is a radically different approach to training dogs. It's not just tools in your toolbox. It's absolutely going to change the way you believe dog training should happen. If you guys look at any of these photos, these are captures from any of our workshops that have happened in the past few years. You see relationships and happy dogs and uh, people who are just very, very passionate about what they do. And I think that that's, while you do see this stuff at other workshops, it's extremely common at a TWC workshop where you just see way more attention put into the relationship side. You're not so much focused on like, oh, how did your heel go, or how did your bite work go, or how did your play session go? It's very much so always comes down to like, me and my dog at the end of the day, we're just gonna like sit here and just have some time to just like be friends. So why TWC certification? You owe it to your dog. By using play, training without conflict trainers are able to tap into your dog's genetic gifts and create results by controlling and guiding their natural abilities. Other reasons, you owe it to your clients. Your clients expect high level lasting results that they can understand. That's a very, very important piece to what TWC is. Ivan has a very common quote that he likes to use. It's an Einstein quote where he says that if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, then you don't know what you're talking about. And one of the things about TWC is taking very complex concepts and really whittling them down to their simplest form so everyone can understand them. So, why TWC certification? You will crush the competition. The dog trainer that can achieve the best and most lasting results while maintaining the motivation and happiness of a dog and can communicate how those results were achieved wins. every single time. Lastly, you owe it to yourself. We've kind of talked with Jen, and we've had these calls in the past. A lot of trainers, they are at a point where they feel lost, or they feel backed into a corner, or they feel like they have a missing piece um, to their training, and it's almost led to a level of burnout. This is going to give you guys the freedom to love dog training again. And that's one of the most common things that I hear from trainers, is that they almost feel like they get permission from the course to enjoy training dogs again. And just to kind of give you guys an idea of what some trainers think about the course, here's a couple of testimonials that we've had in the past. Amir, he says, I've made my way through module 10. I spent most of the time on the two lessons on progression. Wow, just wow, Ivan. These two lessons were the most intense and most important lessons from any live seminar or any pre-recorded dog training lesson from any dog trainer that I have ever taken. For me, these two lessons alone are well worth the price of admission to this course. I will forever be grateful for Ivan's willingness to share this knowledge with us. I'm just a dog owner. I just goof around with my dogs, but if I were a professional dog trainer like some of you guys, I would feel privileged to be among such a small group of trainers with this knowledge, and I would feel I have a huge competitive advantage over other trainers thanks to Ivan, a competitive advantage that I would protect. Vivian, hi, everyone. I'm Vivian from Singapore. I have a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in neuroscience. I've taught learning and behavior lab at a university in Texas and animal behavior and communication in a Singapore Polytechnic. Although we've only done 4 modules so far, I must say that this course resonates with me tremendously. I love the strong emphasis on relationship with the dog. I've been to many courses and seminars with many trainers. However, the deep appreciation and understanding of psychology that Ivan has is incredible and unique. Ivan's ideas are at the forefront of dog training. As a former academic, I can say that science has not even caught up with many of the ideas that are discussed here. I am thankful for the opportunity to be in this course. Chris Valdez, I think he's on the call, or he was on the call at some point. He said, truth, catapult your skills to levels way beyond typical dog training. Ivan's course is like no other, and his support is incredible. This course has been the very best investment I've made in my dog training career. Get ready to have the best relationship possible with your dog and be able to share that gift with your clients as well. Thank you, Ivan and family. Truly proud to be part of this revolution in dog training. If you're thinking about doing this, think no more. This course is being offered at a steal of a deal, and you will return your investment over and over and over again. And Darlene, she says, Ivan is by far the best dog trainer in the world. I've taken the training, and my dog training business is taking off. Everything in this video is true. Well worth the investment in yourself. Uh, Other proof that we have, we've done internal surveys with our trainers where we ask them how their businesses are doing. And over 80% of TWC certified trainers have more business than they can handle. The remaining people were either brand new trainers who just started their business, or trainers who feel like they are just have the level of business that they can currently handle. So, but over 80% feel like they are getting more business that they can handle. And that's a huge testament of the TWC community and their ability to use TWC to have a very successful business. So, what is the TWC certification program? There are two paths to choose from. The professional certification, which is for professional dog trainers with existing businesses, and the practitioner certification, which is for dog owners without a dog training business. Both levels enjoy Ivan's comprehensive science-based training system that will forever change how you interact with dogs. The course itself for both levels is exactly the same. There's no difference. There's no different content for professionals or practitioners. Everyone gets the exact same certification course. Both levels enjoy 24/7 access to 18 mind-blowing modules where you'll learn the TWC methodology through the TWC Academy. Here are some of the modules, the 18 modules that are in the program. If you guys ever want to take a look at what the modules are, they are all listed on our website at trainingwithoutconflict.com/certification. You can click on professional or practitioner, and you can actually access the list of all of the modules there, and you can see the titles so you can kind of get an idea. For the most part, we've done 22, 23 of these classes. I have not once in 5 years, 6 years heard from any trainer ever say Ivan didn't cover this. It's super, super expansive. It's very intense. And Ivan really leaves no stone unturned. It's everything that you could possibly want to learn about dog training is here. Both levels also enjoy access to a private Facebook group where you can discuss questions and cases with TWC students. Both levels also enjoy access to 4 private class Q&A calls with Ivan via Zoom. These calls sometimes last more than 4 hours. It's very common that they last more than 4 hours. Ivan really is generous with his time, and he wants to make sure that everyone understands what it is that you need to be learning throughout the course. And he never ever spares any time with the trainers. He absolutely like it's extremely generous the amount of time that he dedicates to these Q&As. So you guys will definitely find a ton of value in this. Both levels also enjoy access to the TWC Q&A archive. So those 4 Zoom calls that you get during your certification program, those are all recorded. And every single class prior to your class has been recorded. And they are all available in the TWC Q&A archive. For the last 5, 6 years, every single Q&A has been recorded and it's available in the archive. There's hundreds of hours of content at this point. So there you will never ever, I would be amazed if anybody has watched all of them at this point. I'm sure someone's given it a shot, but you'll never and it'll continue to get updated. So you're never going to feel like you're not getting new content because it's just constantly coming out. It's always being updated with every single class. Both levels also enjoy early access to TWC workshops. So when we announce a workshop, the first people who get access to that are our TWC trainers. So you guys, as you probably have known in the past, anytime that we've done a workshop, they sell out extremely quickly. So if you want to make sure that you're getting access to that stuff before they sell out, being part of the certification program is a great way to do that. That's for both levels. For professional trainers, they enjoy the opportunity to attend the TWC Trainer Weekend to take their final written exam. Once that process is completed and they become certified trainers, TWC certified trainers enjoy use of the Training Without Conflict methods for use with their clients. TWC certified trainers also get promotion and listing on the TWC certified trainer directory. So if you guys have gone on our website, trainingwithoutconflict.com, and go to the Find a Trainer page, you can actually find a majority of our certified trainers on that page and be able to find any of them. And I'm sure Jen, once we get to the Q&A part, she'll probably be able to talk to you about getting clients from the Find a Trainer directory. And a lot of our trainers are starting to get clients from that, which is very, very cool because they're getting clients that are looking to them to learn things that are TWC concepts and not just like random, like, I just want my dog to be a good dog and stay out of the way type of thing. They want to learn how to have great relationships, how to play with their dog, and how to do things and have fun with their dogs, which is very, very cool and leads to having the types of clients that you guys want. TWC certified trainers also enjoy monthly Zoom calls to discuss ongoing cases. So when your class is completed and you become a certified trainers, the Zoom calls don't end. They continue, and you just continue to have those on a monthly basis where you can continue to discuss cases. Last night, we just had a call where towards the beginning of the call, we were talking about a specific case and how to remedy the case. And then towards the end, somebody had a question about how to kind of market their dog training business that they were just getting started. Um, and we discussed that. So it encompasses a lot of things, and there's specialists in all fields in the certified trainer community. So it's very, very cool to be able to get the advice and um, just general conversation started with other TWC certified trainers. TWC certified trainers also enjoy the opportunity to attend the annual TWC Certified Trainer Summit. So every single year we have a reunion of sorts of all of our certified trainers. That's actually coming up this next weekend. And it's a very, very cool time. One of the things that Jen kind of mentioned is the ability to have conversations about dog training with people who have a similar education and a similar understanding of dog training. And when you have that, you're able to create progress much quicker because everyone is operating at the same level, which is very, very cool. And the Certified Trainer Summit is a very cool opportunity for us to have those conversations and to see the dog training in action. And then TWC certified trainers also enjoy opportunity for further TWC education programs. We do have our TWC expert trainer program, which is our highest level program that is above the certification program. Not going to go too deep into what that is today, but we open that up once a year to our certified trainers. So if you guys are interested in that in the future, that would be something that would be a perk of being a TWC certified trainer. We pride ourselves on our community. So, are you guys ready to join the community? Before we get to the price, I want to ask you guys one simple question. What is your dream worth? When people think about their dog training business or their personal dog or their competition future or any of these things, everyone has a goal of what they want to achieve. And how you get to that dream and how you achieve that goal, it can happen quickly or it can take forever. Like Ivan has that saying that or loves to um go to that saying where people say like many roads lead to Rome. But the amount of time that it takes you to get to Rome can be very different depending on which road you take. So if you believe that your clients are worth it, that your dogs are worth it, and most importantly, that your dream is worth it, if you guys believe that all of those things are worth it, we'd love you to have you guys join something very, very special. The TWC certification program for the professional certification is 12,000 US dollars, and the practitioner certification program is 10,000 US dollars. So we did make a major announcement 2 weeks ago at our previous call where the current investment is 12,000 for the professional and 10,000 for the practitioner certification. Starting January 1st of 2026, the price for the professional certification will be increasing, and it will be increasing to $15,000 for the professional certification program. The practitioner certification will remain the same, but if you guys want to lock in the price that is currently available of 12,000 US dollars for the professional certification, we strongly encourage applying and enrolling prior to December 31st of 2025. How to apply? Go to trainingwithoutconflict.com/certification. Purchase your $97 TWC certification application, fill out and submit the application, and then Ivan and the TWC team will review it. And once it's reviewed, I will personally contact you with the next steps. We're currently enrolling for January 2026. That class will be starting in January. We haven't set the actual start date yet, but it will be starting in January. And we're enrolling for that now. So now is the time for questions. And I'm sure some of you guys have put some in here. So let me just go ahead and close this down. All right. Here we go. I have 12 years of experience training dogs, including my own, helping friends and fosters, but don't have a dog training business. I'm guessing I'm not eligible for the TWC certification, professional certification, if I enroll in the practitioner program, is there a difference in the syllabus, or is the difference just the trainer weekend, final written and practical exams? Is there a pathway post practitioner to do? Okay. Yes. So this is a very common question. And I actually want Jen to weigh in on this because it is something she kind of discussed briefly. Um, so if you are a person who knows that you want to eventually have a professional dog training business, but you do not have one currently, you can enroll as a practitioner and then upgrade to the professional certification. At this current time, the upgrade fee is $4,000, so you wouldn't have to pay two separate enrollment fees. Just because people always typically ask that question. Now, the pathway itself. I always recommend that if people are new to training and don't necessarily have a professional training business, to enroll as a practitioner and go through the course. And then once they've established their business and have had clients for, a year or whatever, but they've had clients, then they can upgrade. And the reason that I give them that advice is because it doesn't, number one, I don't want anyone to feel pressured to be trying to accomplish a certification program that is already as difficult it's already difficult. But to try to do that with like a million other things, like trying to get your business up and running and trying to get clients and trying to do all these things is very difficult. So I always advise people to take things one thing at a time and establish their business and get clients and then upgrade. So then it gives you the opportunity to really dedicate your time to the course. Now, so the thing that I wanted Jen to kind of expand on is um, it's very important, like you said, to have some practical experience with working with dogs or understand how you're going to get access to dogs in order to get practical experience when you're in the course. So, can you just kind of talk a little bit about how important that is and why it's important for you to have the ability to use the concepts as you're taking the course?
Yeah, I think there is great danger in reading and understanding theory without the ability to apply. So absolutely, I don't know that I would have understood and passed the full certification if I didn't have hands-on experience. I don't think you need like a decade of experience to go through the course, but recommending a year of hands-on experience professionally before going through the course, I think is a very, very realistic thing to recommend to people. It is the course is absolutely not a replacement for hands-on application. You have to have both.
Yeah, and I think like that's one thing like I even people who do have uh who do have uh, a ton of practical experience, but not necessarily with using the concepts. I always tell them, like, you might be able to pass the written exam and you might be able to get the practical done, but you're still going to have to spend the next year or 2 years working with this stuff before you feel like 100% comfortable.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not like you're going to complete the course and then all of a sudden be like, Superman. Like, it's not
If
like
anything, it blows your mind a little bit, and then you have to kind of even out after it.
yeah, because it's not like the Matrix where like you tap in and kung fu and then all of a
I
sudden
wish.
yeah, it's like you do have to spend some time working and just knowing where you're going to get access to dogs and not being stressed about that. Because one of the main things and we kind of skirted around the topic, but like the establishing the best learning environment for your dogs is one of the key concepts of TWC. But when you're the one who's learning, establishing the correct learning environment for you is also very important. And having the stress of like building up a business and trying to do the course is just not ideal. So
And also, like,
giving
you want to make your money back on the course,
exactly.
right? Like, which I have very, like, without effort, I have made my money back on the course by just the clients that have been attracted to us since going through the course. But you want to be set up to do that, right? If you're not set up to do that, that's a tough sell for someone who's new in business and
Right.
not prepared to turn that around and make their money back.
Yeah, and one of the very interesting things I think too is in talking about like making your money back. Like even if you're a practitioner and you have no intention of being
Mm.
um, a professional trainer at any point, there's still the ability to in essence make your money back because once you learn this stuff, you're never going to have to go pay a trainer
For
to
basics, for
yeah
basis.
for basics.
Yeah,
You're never gonna have to like need to go pay for a six, seven, $8,000 board and train
no.
when you know this stuff because you're going to have the power to do that for your current dog, your future dog, your friends' dogs, even if you, excuse me, even if you never want to be a professional.
I
So,
really just find myself paying someone to coach me and tell me what I'm doing wrong that I'm not seeing. like like I feel confident in how to get from where I am to where I want to go, but tell me specifically what you're seeing that I'm not seeing.
I mean, that's, and sometimes you do need that. Like, I think,
You need a coach, especially in
especially when it
competition
comes,
stuff, right? Like
yeah, I was just gonna say, when it comes to competition stuff, like
you need a coach.
you need the eye of someone like, and that's another very interesting thing is like, I don't think people really understand the detail that Ivan sees. Like,
Yeah, but also they TWC has really helped me assess whether someone is worth hiring as a coach,
right, yeah.
which has saved me a lot of
I think
money.
that's something that I personally have also
Yeah,
felt is like you're no longer struggling to decipher whether someone's like
full of it.
full of shit or actually is an expert. Like
Yeah.
once you kind of experience what an actual expert in their field is like,
Mhm.
you just kind of know the vibe. Like when you meet
Yeah.
someone else like that, you're like, oh, you're another one. Like you're another one of the very few that just absolutely have, you know,
Yeah.
mind-blowing knowledge just locked up in your brain.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, Macy, when does the next class start and when are the in-person sessions? So we don't have a concrete start date yet. It will be sometime in January, most likely the third weekend or the final weekend of January is when we typically start the class, and most likely the trainer weekend for that class um, will be sometime in late March, early April. We just have to the big thing for us is just making sure that we're working with the schedules around some of the competitions that Ivan is looking to do in 2026. What is the format of the course? Good question. So we do have, like I said in the presentation, we do have the 18 modules. So those modules are released 2 modules per week until we're done releasing all the modules. So they get released, one module gets released on Monday, the following module gets released on Thursday, and then we just follow that schedule until we release all the modules. Every other week, you have a Zoom call to discuss the previous modules. So you guys are always getting guidance along the way. And then anytime between that you have questions, you can use the Facebook group um, to get any of your questions answered. Uh, I do not know how to say your name, and I'm not even going to try. But you said, can you tell us something more about the practical part of the exam? Yeah, so the practical portion of the exam happens after a successful written exam. And that it takes place once you go home after the trainer weekend. Once you get home and we have a successful written exam, we provide you with a prompt for what you need to do for your practical exam. And you're able to do it from home. You record the videos, you upload them to YouTube, and then once you complete the tasks, we evaluate it and then give you a decision based on your performance. Victor, Jen, thanks for sharing your time. Your passion, energy is evident and contagious. Thanks again. I have a question that's more for Eric, I suppose, although I like Jen's opinion on taking the practitioner course if you're just a dog enthusiast. Can you go over the difference between the practitioner and professional program? Is there an avenue for a certified practitioner to gain professional certification without repeating the entire course? Yeah, I think we just kind of answered that question earlier. There is absolutely zero difference in the course itself for practitioners or professionals. Go ahead.
I took the course twice before I tested. Also, I don't think we talked about that. I went through the course twice before I tested, knowing that I was forfeiting an opportunity to test, like for because you only get so many times
Yeah,
to.
and I think that's probably one good thing about the structure of the course to talk about. So when you guys enroll, it's not like you enroll and you get one shot at the test and that's kind of it. You guys have a year to complete the certification process, which means that you have a year to complete the course, the written exam, and the practical exam. So what Jen is kind of referring to is she enrolled in the program, didn't necessarily feel like she was ready to take that
I think
exam.
I couldn't travel or something. It was something about the time of year. I just couldn't travel. But I'll tell you, even if I went through the course once and tested and passed, I still would have gone through it again.
Yeah.
Because it just like I needed to go through it again. Like I
And
needed to see it a second
I
time.
think people revisit it very frequently anyway because they know that like even me like sometimes I'll just go through and be like I was there and I watched
Yeah.
them film this and like I edited it and whatever, but it's like I'm catching something
Yeah.
that I never heard for
My
whatever
first
reason.
year, my first year being certified, I was regularly rewatching modules.
Yeah. And then the other cool piece is that because the certification program is constantly being updated, you're kind of like you're not forced. Like you don't you're not no one's saying that like you're not tested on new material, but Ivan's always adding new stuff. So it kind of tells you like, hey, just go back and watch the new stuff, if anything. So it always keeps people very interested and locked into the program and continuing education. Um
But he did ask to if it's worth doing as a practitioner, like if you have the money to do it as a practitioner, yeah, do it. Yeah, like definitely do it. I feel fortunate that I could write it off as a business expense, but I would have really
yeah,
wanted to do it even if I wasn't a professional.
I
So,
mean I think if you're passionate about something
yeah,
and like at the end of the day, it's going to be like, what's it worth to you? Like, if you're passionate about dog training, I am so confident that no matter what, if you take the course, you are going like I have not once ever, and like this is not like marketing, like like BS or like me trying to sell anybody on anything. I truthfully not once in 6 years have had someone enroll in the program and come to me and say that was a waste of my time. Like, not once ever. If anything, it's the complete opposite, where people are like people are just like, there's so much here. I don't like how Jen's saying, like, there's so much here. I have to watch it again,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? So again, I'm not saying that for the sake of like trying to sell anybody on anything, but I just truthfully have never heard from anybody that they're not. So if you're even if you have no intention of ever being a professional trainer, I guarantee that you are going to be happy with the program regardless.
absolutely.
Um, Not a question, but thank you. I really resonated with Jennifer, shared the whole conversation with you guys had about the dog and how most do not see. Thank you. You're welcome. Um, what would you advise to someone who is not a dog trainer but has some knowledge and does some AKC competition but wants to improve their relationship with their dog, who is fearful but doesn't show interest in play but is very food motivated? Um, so I'll answer and then I'll let Jen answer as well. Personally, my advice to anybody, regardless, is just continue to improve your education. Like maybe this dog isn't play motivated, and just because they're not play motivated doesn't mean you can't do TWC concepts. Because again, at the core of what TWC is, you're learning about behavioral psychology of an animal. And it's going to help you whether you use food, whether you use toys, whether you use affection, whatever it is, whatever your reinforcement is, it's going to teach you how to use it more efficiently in a better way to create the best relationship with your dog. So it has absolutely nothing to do whether you're using play or food. It's going to give you a better ability to understand and have a better relationship with your dog. So my advice is to just continue your education. And whether you do that with TWC or not, it's your decision to make. But I will say that if you choose to go the TWC route, you are going to learn how to have the absolute best relationship with your dog. I don't know if Jen has anything else that she wants to add to that.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as this person, I don't know if this person is like considering going through the practitioner course or what, but you can also like you can hire a TWC trainer.
Yeah.
Like this is you look at my inbox right now and it's like 20 people saying this, right? Like they want to improve their relationship, they have some experience, et cetera, et cetera. Like you can hire a coach to look at what you and your dog are currently doing and progress you. And then decide from there if you want to take the course or you can just take the course. It kind of there's no wrong answer when it comes to continuing your education.
Yeah, yeah, I completely and like that's also like a gateway for a lot of people. It's like if you feel like you're not totally sure or you want to get a closer look at like how the TWC methodology kind of makes you feel, hire a TWC trainer and just work with them. And most of the time, I feel like, and Jen probably could testify to this, you'll get people who are like they hire you and then they're like, oh my God, I want to dive deeper into this rabbit hole, and then they sign up for the course.
I have a client that just went through the course.
Um, Linda, will you ever be able to offer financing or VAGI bill similar to what Jason Ferguson and Highland Canine offers? I am not totally sure what Jason Ferguson or Highland Canine offer. We did offer not necessarily financing, but payment plans in the past. And at the time, it just led to more problems than benefits because it essentially created a situation where like me personally I had to chase people for making payments and it just wasn't a productive way to utilize our time. So that's why we don't have them at the moment. I never say never, but at the moment it's not something that we're planning on doing to have either GI Bill or financing. um Victor, looks like you guys covered most of my questions. Cool. Um, is the practitioner course open to enroll anytime, or would we have to apply now for the January? Yeah, so anybody who's on the call today, you're not obligated to enroll at any time. We're gonna, I mean, barring any some sort of tragedy or whatever, we're going to be here and we're going to be providing classes and we're this is going to continue. We offer 4 classes per year. So like in 2026, we're going to offer a class in January, sometime in April, June, July, and then like August, September. Those are going to be the 4 classes in 2026. So you're not necessarily obligated to join today. This next class isn't the only class. We're open for enrollment anytime. So if you guys decide mid next year that you guys want to enroll, you're welcome to enroll at that time. We'll be having these calls periodically. And the reason we do it just to have you guys get to know TWC trainers, understand where they're coming from and how TWC has affected them. But any of these calls that we have, you're not obligated to enroll specifically for January. The one thing that I will add as a caveat though is because the price is increasing as of January 1st, 2026. If you would like to enroll in 2026, but want to lock in the current price of $12,000 for the professional certification, I would encourage enrolling before December 31st, but you can always defer your start date to whenever is more comfortable for you in 2026. So that's definitely one thing that I would add as a caveat. Hey Eric, I applied and did everything a few weeks ago. Um, Catalin, I will email you. Um, you're already enrolled, it looks like. Same thing with Matis. I will email you guys. Um, is there a way to keep gaining access to the course short of paying full enrollment each time? Okay, Jesse. So there's an enrollment to start the program, so there's the initial enrollment, but the once you complete the year of access that you get when you first start the course, you are able to renew access to the course for another year. And that's just $297 for professional trainers and $197 for practitioners. So you don't have to enroll for 12 or 10,000 every single year. That's definitely not what's happening. You're able to renew your access on a yearly basis for 297 for professionals and 197 for practitioners. Jessica Kyle, is the price due to rise again next year? Every time I think I'm getting close. Um, yeah. Jessica, I'm definitely not the person who's in control of the pricing. We just, it's just we have grown substantially in the last 5, 6 years very, very quickly. And in order to continue growing, we have to have our, more employees, more resources, and we also provide a ton to our trainers. Like the amount of additions that Ivan has made in the last 5, 6 years to the program have been substantial. Like I would say that probably close to 40% of the course is like brand new compared to what was recorded live. It's substantial the amount of time that Ivan invests in this stuff. So I have absolutely no way of predicting whether or not the pricing will change at the end of 2026. But I would just encourage anyone who's interested to um, just enroll whenever the time is right for them. Um, okay. Darcy, no question. I hired Morgan Lee for training our dog with behavioral issues. I now want to get certified. Great way to get introduced to TWC and their methods. Yes. So that's exactly what we were saying. And then Owen, thank you for this call. Very informative. And that's the last question here. Or actually, there was one question here. Can you give example of one of the 2 to 3 things that would be helpful to illustrate how you use TWC? Jen, I think that's a question for you. So, can you think of like maybe one of the top concepts that just has really helped you with your dog training?
Oh yeah, my total misunderstanding of classical conditioning. It's a little embarrassing. uh without getting too technical, just the way I was conditioning things was delayed and not forward. So I don't know how much detail you want me to go into about that, but my conditioning skills I thought were like super cool. And then I was like watching Ivan, I was like, Ivan's doing it wrong. Why is he? And then I realized that I was really doing delayed conditioning and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's probably one of the most important things.
yeah. No, I mean, I
Don't
think I think
don't tell my clients.
no, and then the interesting thing is like I think whether somebody understands what you're saying or not,
Yeah,
I think it's there's like a saying that Ivan has like I'm just like I'm a encyclopedia of Ivan's analogies and sayings at this point, but one of the things he likes to talk about is how little hinges swing big doors.
yeah,
And it's like some of the smallest details that you guys will learn will make the biggest impact in your training.
yeah,
And just like how Jen's talking, just general timing of what you're doing
yeah.
and making one small change can absolutely flip everything you do upside
Just
down.
like a half second difference between what I was doing and what I needed to be doing.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
very, very cool.
um, yeah,
So,
yeah, that was a big one.
uh, Jen, again, I appreciate your time
Yeah,
today.
of
It's
course.
always nice to have a trainer who can give their perspective on what TWC is and how it's helped them. So, thank you so much for your time today. And anyone who's on here today, I appreciate you guys being on the call. If you missed it at any point, um, we will be providing a recording. So thank you again, and we'll see everybody soon. Thank you again, Jen.
Thanks.
Bye.